What is going on, everyone? My name's Boyd and I'm back with the first ever chess action video. My God, we've got in the top color playing as white. I mean, in the white color playing as white, the game has been aborted. The game has been aborted. Oh, the game's starting again. And we've got in the top color, we've got Heyu, also known as No Mercy, also known as Shadowfax. His opponent is the glorious, really attractive streamer known as Quinta. Also plays Valorant, plays some Among Us. You know, he does everything over here. We've got the Queen's Pawn opening here. Both players, no idea what they're doing. Both rated 879, 881, respectively here. And already on move number 3, Shadowfax going into a long think before deciding to go knight to f3. Knight to f3, what a move. Absolute move, developing the knight, getting that one out. Then the bishop coming out, and then No Mercy going for the dubious hate. Well, what's this? A g4 pawn sacrifice on move number 4. Quite dubious because in effect, it really does nothing at all. And now, yet again, No Mercy offering up another ability to destroy his own pawn structure here, doubling pawns on the e-file, giving up the knight in favor of having his pawn here. It's not all lost for him now. He can move this pawn forward to solidify the position. However, he's decided to chuck his queen down into the center of the board here as he's being thwarted with this bishop trying to defend his own pawn. This is a really nice square for the bishop, but it's very easy to push it back. However, you never want to play f3 because that's going to open up queen coming over onto this one. Bishop coming over to here, making a very strong attack on the king side. So we'll be curious to see if he does anything about that. But No Mercy does have this crazy good move here with the knight to then challenge this bishop, forcing the bishop to move back. But he decides to not do that in favor of playing f3. Never play f3, but that does force Quinta to remove that threat by moving his bishop back. This pawn is still defended. However, we've seen the first check of the game being delivered by No Mercy here, and it's very, very easily defended with a nice, calm c6 move here. The queen is completely safe in this position, though. It's going to be a very comfortable Quinta, or No Mercy deciding to go even harder into this position, giving more better. Quinta gives up the bishop. He's forgotten that the queen is there. He's forgotten his queen is there. And now Quinta offering up even more material here as No Mercy is currently jumping into the lead here with a computer evaluation of plus 4.08. What a crazy move here from Quinta. We'll see if it pays off for him. No Mercy's going to have a think about this, though. He's got his queen in the center of the board. It's not defended. Quinta's queen defended by a pawn. Trading here would make it very difficult for Quinta to continue in this game. He's got no developed pieces here at all. Neither does Shadowfax in the top of the map. And we'll see how these guys go here. Still having a very long think about what to do. He does decide to trade. Quinta going for the time here. He goes for the pre-move there. Obviously the only move he has. Now Shadowfax moving in with his bishop, causing the king to move. He has to move to d8, and Quinta does find that one fairly quickly now. And we'll see what happens now if he wants to go for a castle. I think the better square for the king is actually not to go to the corner. It's to bring the king out. So maybe playing the bishop moves here to defend this pawn, get the knight into the game. Probably not the right square for the knight, but it's going to do for now. Quinta pushes his pawn forward, opening up his bishop, still moving incredibly quickly here. And a very nice square for the bishop indeed. However, the big problem is going to be this knight. How do you get this knight into the action? You can't go here because that means that Shadowfax can take the knight, causing the pawn to come over onto h6. Now, it'll be a very, very disgusting looking pawn structure. Plus, simplifying the game even more when you're behind is not good. So this knight is very, very stuck here. He can come over to e7, but we might see that one later. And this bishop here for Shadowfax needs to find a square. He can kind of go here. Oh! And Shadowfax blunders his rook on g2, or g1 I should say, for the bishop, who just comes in, snaps that one up, and now we got a game completely turning this game on its head. Blunderfest Absolute blunderfest here for both players. Shadowfax pushing forward his pawn, trying to keep that one alive in the game. And now Quinta is bringing his A8 rook into the game onto the C file here. Gonna have this complete file under lock and key for at least a little bit. However, what is the play here for Shadowfax? He doesn't really have a lot of good squares for his bishop. He can't go here. He can't go here. He could go into this square, and he will go there, which is going to allow him to have a little bit more activity with the bishop. But it is a little bit messy. The rook can come in now, but that's a very easy simplification for Quinta to go into the endgame, where he is definitely favored right now. Up an entire bishop, or is it up an entire rook right now? He's got... Oh, is it an exchange? I have no idea what's going on here. Chess is too difficult. And we'll see what Shadowfax is going to do. He's really low on time, only 35 seconds, and he decides to take his knight back, and that's going to allow the bishop to come in, trapping the rook, and he has claimed another rook with this bishop. This bishop is the MVP of this game, claiming one rook in the corner, claiming this one, but he will basically be getting the exchange here, but Quinta then sees the beautiful check on the C file, able to snap up the knight, and the king probably going to come to d2, but it's too little too late. The bishop is going to attempt to come out of this square, and he will be threatening to take this, but that's going to give up the final bishop here for No Mercy here. Quinta actually had a pretty nasty pawn push move here in order to trap the bishop, but No Mercy doesn't even resign. He just loses on time here. But this game was very heavily in the favor of Quinta after the blunder of G1. What a game here. What a game indeed. If you're ever in front, whenever you get in front, the best way to play is to be just simplifying. So as soon as No Mercy had this position here, right? Oh, then we're moving on to game number 2. Never mind. We've got game number 2 here. Quinta against No Mercy, swapping the colors over. We see my favorite opening, E4. E4. And E5 here. This is the Boo Kings Pawn Open Knights variation. We'll see what these guys want to go into. We're seeing the Petrov defense, the Damiano variation, which I've never seen before, where both players trade for the pawns. We see the knight, the king, queen coming in. This is a very, very trappy opening here. If this knight does not come back to this square or over to this square, or basically those are the only two moves he has here, he's going to... We see mate and one blundered here by No Mercy. Oh no. Oh no, the traps. He has this move. Well, he has this move here. He has this move here. This move over onto this. Well, never mind. We'll move on. Queen moves forward. We're going to see another Queen's Pawn opening here. We'll see if they go with anything different here. Maybe a Queen's Gambit. Maybe a London system. No, he's just going for the knight developments here. And we are also seeing Quinta doing exactly the same, very even position here on move number 3. The bishop comes out, developing all his pieces here. But so does Quinta. This almost looks like a reverse Italian here, except with the Queen's Pawn coming onto this location. This is a very, very interesting position that I've never seen before in my entire life. And we'll see what No Mercy is going to come up with to refute these moves. He does decide to move the pawn forward. And now we literally have what I think just has to be considered the Italian game, but not even close. But we're seeing No Mercy going for this pawn here. He's got the double attack, only one piece defending it. And how do you defend this pawn here is the question. Do you push E5? That is an interesting move, moving the rook over. But, oh no. The knight blunders onto a7 as Quinta snaps that one up immediately here. Not a thought at all for that knight. No cares given. Another pawn pushing. That's going to allow some interesting moves here. Pawn forward here to defend. Opens the bishop diagonal up to go in for this check. And then the king has to move. But looks like Quinta misses that one, goes for the wrong pawn move. If you ever have a pawn move decision, you want to make sure that it's a move which is going to open up your pieces to get into the game. But now the queen is here, ready to go. We can move the bishop back to this location here and then hit the queen there, but decides against it, going for the knight to block. He is protected by this pawn, which is a very open piece. There's a bit of an interesting variation here. Bishop here. Oh, never mind. I take it all back. It's not interesting at all. It's just bad. And that's why I am not a chess commentator, because I got no idea what I'm talking about. Queen comes in, hits the pawn, opening up this bishop, which is now under attack, hitting the rook as well. Has to decide how to defend against this one. I would love to see maybe the queen coming onto this location to hit the king, and then making just White's position very, very disgusting here. And then he can think about dealing with this knight here. Maybe that's actually not good. He goes here, and then how do you defend both of these pieces? I guess you can just move the knight after this. Maybe go here, and then you've got a really strong attack coming with the knight coming in. This piece coming in looks disgusting to me, but we'll see if that's what's going to happen. We moves the knight over here. There's a bit of a cheeky move that is happening. Queen, we got this bishop here that can come in and deliver this check. The queen takes the knight, queen takes knight, bishop to B5 here means nothing because he can defend it with the rook. That's not the line at all, but we do see the bishop coming in. This one is just going to get snapped up by the knight. There was something here. There was something, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it was. He's going to decide to leave this here. What is the move? I've got no idea. I don't see it. This is apparently, it's just not that bad for White, but I think there's a very specific tactic here that I am definitely missing. But the bishop is found. The bishop move has been found. Obviously, bishop to C7, hitting the queen, forcing the queen to move across. If the queen comes here, what do? I don't know. And we do see that the queen's moved here, so we have to find another resource here for No Mercy. He's looking like he's running out of steam in this position. What can he find? Bishop takes here is met with bishop takes here. And it's looking like he's fizzling out just a little bit. Queen takes here. And then rook takes here. And it's completely fizzled as well. Maybe bishop back here, hitting the knight. But the knight can simply... No. Well, he takes the knight there, and that's just going to be... That's not a good move. That's allowing this bishop to be moved and get a discovered check, but it's actually not that good. I take it all back. But where do you go from here? This is an interesting position. But definitely favoring black quite a bit. And we see the queen trade. Rook will come over, hitting the bishop. Bishop has to retreat back or back. Doesn't matter really which one. Oh, actually, there's a... Oh, no. This is just looking nightmarish for No Mercy. Moves his bishop back. Going to hit the knight here. But there's a couple of moves that aren't so bad here for Quinta. He's going to get this knight into the game. Still some opportunities here. Some chances for this white player with all of the pieces in the game. Get this knight into the game. There's a really nice square for the knight here, which is then hitting this pawn. Oh, he decides to go here, and that's just completely not correct because he can't even... Well, he can move on to this square, but where is he going to go after that? We do see that the rook coming forward onto this rank here, the second rank, going to be having an eye on all of these pawns. And that's potentially going to mean that the rook has to come over or the pawn has to move forward here for No Mercy. And if the rook comes here, for example, you can take the... Oh, no, you can't. Or you can. You can take the knight, king forward, bishop here, rook here, and you've simplified quite well. We are seeing that the pawn's moving forward here for Quinta. I don't think moving the bishop onto this square is really good because you're met with this really nasty pawn chain, and this bishop's not going to get into the game. So we want to move this bishop along this thing, get onto this square, hit the king. So moving this pawn forward yet again would have been the right play, but we do see the king moving into the game, hitting this rook. But again, there is this move here. Take the knight, take the rook. But he decides to bail back, and he has hit this discovery on this rook. So we'll see if No Mercy finds it, and No Mercy hasn't found it. He's hitting the knight, but the rook is hanging, and he takes that immediately here. And now the bishop hanging as well. And that's looking like this game is even more firmly in the grasp of Age of Mythology's Quinta here, who is really showing No Mercy what's up. Taking that pawn. Why not take the pawn? Pawn is a pawn, is a pawn, is a pawn. This bishop can easily retreat back to this square or this square here if he wants. But the king moving forward to discovery. We are seeing Quinta not noticing it here, but I mean, it's fine, I guess. And we're seeing the rooks joining forces here to target down on this B file. Take this pawn. Make his way into the king, and No Mercy yet again very short on time with only 15 seconds remaining in this game. We see the bishop coming in, snapping up the knight, and it's like No Mercy cannot find the moves fast enough. 9 seconds left. King gonna move forward here, hit these pieces, and the rooks are off the board, and now it's a rook against nothing. But the rook blunders. The rook blunders. 2 seconds remaining for No Mercy. Can he find the draw? Can he find the draw? Get the pieces in, and he does not manage to do it. He had a winning position in the end game, but ran out of time. And that's the game. That's the series. Hope you guys enjoyed it. My first ever chess cast with two very, very fantastic humans here. Quinta and No Mercy. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Feels good.